What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Terrell's Anime Nerd Channel, and got one for you today about what somebody agrees with me on how Super ruined a lot of these characters, and this one being main one, Future Trunks. But my main thing is Super was made for kids. That's why we kind of hate it. The real Dragon Ball fans, why we hate it, because it was specifically for children. So, and I think a lot of kids don't even like it, but some kids do. A lot of the newer generation, they like Super, but yeah, like people that grew up with Dragon Ball, we freaking hate it. But it's catered to that audience, so I can understand them uh, catering to that audience because that's the people that's buying it and investing in it. And but the OG series, it was made for adults because it had all the gore, the violence, the blood, and all that stuff. But this one, the time it aired and all that kind of stuff, you could tell, and how Goku acted, how a lot of these people acted, you could tell because a lot of them acted like children, and that's kind of what kids like. Kids like when grown-ups act like kids. That's how they respond to stuff. Cause I got kids that one of my sons watches a lot of stuff on TV, seeing grown people act like kids. It's kind of cringe to me, but they like it. So I understand it, but that don't mean I gotta like it. And I think they could have created. I think they should have, if they're gonna do Dragon Ball Diamond, I think they should have just directed that towards kids, and then still gave us the real good stuff. You didn't have to make Dragon Ball Super and make the grown adults idiots. You could have just made a Dragon Ball Diamond for kids, like showed it in the morning for where when kids watch it, and you make, you know, and not turning the adults into kids, not doing some magical crap like that. You just have a series where everyone's kids. Just reboot the whole series and make everyone kids. Just like they did with Total Drama series, like they did a few others like that. We did it with Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go sucks, but we know it's for kids. So I mean, we know that the original Teen Titans still exists because they did a Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go. So I'm okay with that because we still have a Teen Titans Go and they finished the series. The series was pretty darn good. So I'm okay with that. Even though I don't like Teen Titans Go, I'm still okay with it. Even though I don't like, I would have been okay with Dragon Ball Daima if they still had, if they just ended Z and not made a Super, not made anything. Just have a reboot the whole thing and make it for kids. Have Dragon Ball Daima, and but still make Dragon Ball Z its own continuity. Uh, don't touch it. Don't do anything else with it. You can still have movies with Dragon Ball Z. Have the adult stuff. You can have stuff for us. You know, so have stuff for the adults, and then you can have things for kids. It's easy to do. Marvel, DC do it all the time. So I don't know why they weren't able to do it, but it's just like they revamped everything for the kids. Just say screw the original fans. I don't like that aspect.
Future Trunks is without a doubt my favorite character in all of Dragon Ball Z. The guy is an absolute legend, my guy. If you ain't riding with Future Trunks, man, we stomping you out, we stomping your homies out, we stomping your mama out. Everybody who doesn't ride with Future Trunks is getting stomped out. Bro, he's the definition of a sensational character that has a really great character arc and ends it off absolutely perfectly by the end of his entire.
Well, it ended good, but they sideswiped them throughout most of the Cell arc. Once Vegeta and Goku and them got stronger, they kind of sideswiped them. But the way he ended, the way he did Android 18 and 17 and Cell, I said that's a pretty good ending. I don't think they should have messed with him after that. The fact that they brought Super in and kind of ended his old universe and brought Goku Black in it just made it awful.
Journey. So to see such a great character absolutely capitulated and pretty much ruined in Dragon Ball Super is absolutely heartbreaking.
And like I said, this is for more mature audiences because they had more blood and everything else. Super was just for children, and I hate that. I hate that how they and then they made it kind of canon with the rest of the series. I hate that they did that because they could have left it alone. They could have made Super its own continuity. They could have made Super. They could have made Dragon Ball Daima. They could have did Daima a while back in the place of Super. It just ended Z, made Z just permanently. That's what it is. This is how the story ends. Bam. You know, just have Daima for kids. And I've been okay with that. Knowing that it's specifically for children and that it's not for the adults, but you can still have Dragon Ball Z movies, like with Battle of Gods. And you didn't have to make everybody dumb. You didn't have to make everybody idiots. You had to turn Goku into a man-child. It's a lot of things. But, it's all done now. But I'm just saying.
I'm gonna break down completely why Dragon Ball Super completely fumbled the bag with Future Trunks and completely ruined my favorite character. Let's get right into the video, gents.
They fumbled everything because they fumbled Goku. I did videos on my channel. They fumbled Piccolo. They fumbled Bardock. They fumbled Vegeta. They ruined everyone. They ruined everyone. They ruined Gohan. I didn't know how you could do that, but they did it.
Now, my G, before we even get into the complete and utter character...
And they turned Yamcha into a meme. A freaking meme. I just don't understand.
Assassination of Future Trunks. I want to talk about the reason why Future...
Oh, by the way, we're still going to do Dragon Ball New Hope. We're going to do that one. We're still going to do that, guys. I ain't forgot about it. It's just been real life. Been doing stuff. Been life and, spend time with kids. That kind of stuff had to play a role. I got a show I got to get ready for tomorrow. I got to perform a 30-minute segment tomorrow. So I'm going to be getting my music and stuff ready for that. I think I'm going to do New Hope today. Probably this evening, probably today. I have it ready for this evening. And but by the way, hit the like button, comment, the good stuff, the subscribe stuff.
Future Trunks is such a great character in the first place.
This is my favorite
We're going to
movie
consider
too.
every single aspect of Future Trunks' conception, the trials and tribulations that he went through, and the reason he was such a G in my eyes, in the eyes of many people, such as...
These were the best versions of anybody in these movies, like Trunks, Goku. Movie Goku was my favorite Goku.
myself. My G, let's start off right off with the drip. Yo, the minute the Future Trunks pulled up on screen, he was the definition of drip, definition of being a G, definition of being cool. The homie was moving saucy in absolutely everything that he was doing. First of all, let's not even get into what he's done. Let's get right into the fit, homie. Let's get right into the fit. Look at the drip that Future Trunks is rocking immediately when he pulls up. Clean bloody sword. Bro, that sword looks clean as hell. Look at the jacket, the capsule called drip. Dude, whatever drip Trunks was wearing in the entire Cell Saga, he was dripped out and looking cool without a doubt. Bro, Akira Toriyama definitely went all out in terms of his character designs throughout this entire arc, bro. From the very time he arrives with the cool jacket, from the very moment he pulls up and goes into his fire Super Saiyan form, the way that his hair is designed, his entire look is absolute flames, my G. Whatever fit you put Future Trunks in, he looks like a G. Bro, peep his fit when he's wearing the Saiyan armor, bro. Looks like a flipping G with that long ass hair. Bro, look at the...
We should show the Trunks with the long hair instead of this one, because when you describe Trunks with long hair and put him in there with short hair, we don't get to see it with the long hair. But I don't critique I have, but yeah, it did look like a G in the Saiyan armor. In my favorite design of his was in the BoJack movie. That was my favorite one. I think he had the same design. He didn't have the design of Broly, but he was in this form. He was post Time Chamber.
outfit that he is wearing when he completely annihilates and dispatches of the future android when he comes back to his future after getting all the training, after getting all the experience of training with Goku, Kakarot, Gohan, and training with everyone. And look at the drip. Look at the way that he dispatches of his enemies, bro. What a G. Fam, what a great character. And just from his aesthetic, he is the definition of a really good and aesthetically pleasing character.
Because he didn't mind killing. He don't mind killing to get the job done, because the timeline he came from, he learned if you don't annihilate a threat, it's you can't. He's not the type that'll wait around. We gotta wait for them to power up and all that kind of stuff. He doesn't act like that, because of the timeline he came from. It was kill or be killed. So that's why he's one of my favorite characters. That's the reason what didn't give him the favorite character slot is because he didn't get enough airtime. He didn't get enough showtime to show off who he really was. Just like with Bardock, Bardock didn't get enough fight time and show off time. Had they did a little more with Bardock, he would have been up higher. I like Bardock because he was a good fighter. Trunks didn't get enough in the series, enough show off time where he could just annihilate threats. He showed off. He had a good entrance, but in the throughout the Cell saga, he was pretty much a side character. And but he started to regain it at the very, very end of the Cell arc when after Cell was beaten in the main timeline, but it just wasn't enough for me. But he got a little shine when Cell was trying to reach his perfect form, but still, I wanted to see more of him in the Cell arc, pre-time chamber and all of that, because everyone had surpassed him in strength by the time he came back from the future to help them fight the androids. So I personally wanted to see a little more of him, but like I said, Cell arc's a good arc, but I still wanted to see more of him in there. And yeah, it would have definitely sealed the favorite character thing for me.
Character, and this is just one of the reasons I like Future Trunks so much. Now, gents, let's consider who he is as a character and why he is such an endearing character that it makes it very easy for us to like and to love him as a person. Now, guys, because we've analyzed his drip and why he is probably the most aesthetically pleasing and cool character the Dragon Ball Z has ever had, let's consider him as a person and consider his character.
Oh, and one thing too I didn't like is sometimes in Z, unlike Bleach and other places, other characters didn't get enough time to shine. It was always everyone had to wait on Goku. We gotta wait on Goku. We gotta have faith in Goku. And no one else was able to stand up to the big bads or the surrounding enemies. Maybe in this shot right here, or when Vegeta fought 19, it was just no one else around that they had to fight. Like Bleach, you had in Inuyasha, everyone had their own villain they had to fight. Yu Yu Hakusho, everyone had to fight somebody and win. Everyone was tested, but Dragon Ball Z, everyone had to wait on Goku because the villains were so strong. That's what I didn't like. They could have had things that took place where they gave other people shine. So even the humans got brushed aside after the Cell arc. They were useless in the Cell arc. So that was my only gripe about Z. Other than that, still way better than Super. Thousands of times better than Super.
Character as a whole. Compared to almost every single Dragon Ball Z character, Future Trunks has probably gone through the most difficult path in comparison to anybody else. He went through a very, very rough childhood.
I beg to differ. Vegeta had a worse childhood than him. Even though Future Trunks Vegeta had a way worse childhood. Vegeta and I think that's it. Vegeta.
An entire world that has been absolutely ravaged by
Vegeta did too.
The threat of these androids and the tumultuous upbringing that he went through, and him seeing future Gohan being killed in front of his eyes is a great motivator and a reason for him to become a ruthless and horrible person. But he still maintained.
And Frieza lost to Vegeta's son. Frieza killed Vegeta, and then his son came back and killed him. Talk about karma.
his kindness, he's still a good person. But when it's time to get cracking, when it's time to take care of business, he does not hesitate, and his childhood is a testament to that. Let's consider his very first arrival when he pulls up here in the present day before Goku comes back and arrives after his awesome fight with Frieza. He immediately pulls up and completely slaps the hell out of Frieza and King Cold. Bro, this homie doesn't waste no time powering up, toying, enjoying the fight. Absolutely not, bro. He is the definition of what any other real person, real character.
Because Trunks is half saying he don't, and then he was in a post-apocalyptic world. He don't see a threat as a fun fight. Look, you're dead. If I have the strength to kill you, you're gonna die. If I don't, I'm gonna find a way to kill you. That's how he sees it. Hey, and that's what makes him such a good character, is the past that he had with the trauma and where he came from.
Or a realistic person would do in this situation. He isn't this power hungry or a person who just loves fighting. Hell nah. He's here to dispatch of the enemy as quickly and as efficiently as possible, my G. Yo, Frieza got diced up, my guy. Diced into pieces, bro. He julienned the steak, my G, and completely ravished him. He even thought he was gonna give King Cold a bit of a, let me pass him my sword. Maybe King Cold will have a decent fight. Gave him a little bit of hope. Nope. Nope. Completely dispatched of him in a couple of seconds afterwards, bro. Trunks, as soon as he arrived,
Because Cold wasn't that much stronger than Frieza. If he was stronger than Frieza, it wasn't by a large margin.
This mysterious, awesome Super Saiyan warrior who completely annihilates his enemies without fail, bro. Even when he pulled up and scrapped with Goku, I was like, hey, yo, this homie is a G. Fam. Just look at the way Trunks fights Goku, and then as I'm saying, bro, everything that Future Trunks does is saucy, G. Look at how the sword goes back into its hilt like a G, bro. Dude, everything about his character is absolutely cool. And as we continue to see him develop and interact with the other characters in this arc, it's very interesting for him to interact with his father. And you can see that while he's in general, a very cool, relaxed, and a G of a character, when he's with his father, he's a little bit different. He's got more respect. He's trying to build rapport with his father. He's trying to get that validation from his father. So his father definitely has a whole lot more leeway than other characters would in certain situations. But it's things like this, and especially the moment, I would say, that shows his character, that shows who he is, that even though he dearly respects his father and wants his validation, when push comes to shove, when he sees that a decision needs to be made, he's gonna make the decision. I immediately want you guys to cast back to the time when Vegeta wants to allow Future Cell to power up to his absolute full power.
Trunks don't play by nobody.
Even though he respects his father, he's like, hell nah. Hell nah, am I gonna let the future that happened to me and my people happen down here? He even blasted his own.
Yeah, Vegeta was an idiot then. I don't know why they used plot then to make Vegeta do that. But that part was, that's one part of Z that I just really couldn't stand. They could have did better than that. They could have wrote that better than that. I don't think you have to make the Z Fighters idiots just to move the plot along. I just don't think it's necessary. There's other ways of writing that. It's more creative ways of writing a story versus making them completely make foolish decisions just so Cell could reach his perfect form. I think there was a better way for him to reach his perfect form than that. I just believe so. I believe they should have just made Cell find the androids on his own and then show up. I think it could have been done a number of ways, and could have been done way better than that.
Pops, bro. Like, I don't know. I think I need to put it into context size. That's like slapping your dad in the face, bro. That's how serious the thing that Future Trunks did, and he did it like an absolute G. He had to oh hell nah, bro. I'm not letting you do this dumb-ish. Come on, dog. And it was so cool to see him and see that character development. Even though he wants to be loved and get the validation from his father, the greater good is always going to come first, and he's always going to do what needs to be done. Every single time we saw Future Trunks in DBZ Also in the BoJack Unbound movie, where we saw Future Trunks with that cool long hair and his cool character design, he's the definition of a character on a mission. He ain't here to play games. If Trunks was the person to unlock Super Saiyan 2 first, Goku would not have died because he would have dispatched a
No, nobody would have died. If Trunks was the strongest, Gohan, it'd have been over with. And the fact that Gohan was used, I could tell all that was plot. Because had Trunks been there, the story would have been over. If Trunks had been strong enough to do what he needed to do, the story would have been over with. I already know this for a fact.
of Flip, he would have dispatched of Cell immediately as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
So now, guys, we've considered the type of person that Future Trunks is. He's a boy who grew up throughout and had experienced a very difficult childhood, a very tumultuous past. He dealt with a lot of death and destruction throughout, living in fear throughout the entirety of his life. But because of that, he became hardened. He was still kind though. He became hardened though, ruthless, and when needed be, he had to take care of business. He is a man on a mission, a determined man who's willing to do whatever needs to be done to take care of the mission. Now, this is why it's important and why it's even so much more offensive to see the complete character regression of Future Trunks in Dragon Ball Super. Now, as I started out this video, I immediately talked about the drip and the sauciness and how aesthetically pleasing Future.
Yeah, it is a huge downgrade from Z, because they did a lot of things that made. I think they're doing it. I think they did this stuff on purpose. I just really do. And they didn't take any notes from the original. I don't know why people go backwards, go in reverse when they try to push a series forward. They go in reverse, which is kind of weird to me. It's like they're trying to ruin it on purpose. I'm not understanding.
Trunks was as a character. As soon as you looked at him, you saw that, yo, I'm rolling with the G. I gotta make sure my game is on point. Now, the very reason that Future Trunks was even brought back in Dragon Ball Super was definitely because of fan service. Dragon Ball Super has a whole myriad of issues that I'm not really interested in getting into today, but there are a number of issues mainly consisting of fan service and continuity. Out of all things, Dragon Ball Super is definitely a show that's more so a fan service machine, a way in which they can sell more toys. It's definitely much more of a cash cow than it is of a story that is compelling. And
yeah, because Super had no story. It was all just cash cow grifting. It was just one big grift, and they ended the series because it sucked. And so I mean, even the fact that they were cash cowing and giving the fans what they wanted, it still sucked. It lets you know that you can't give the fans what they want all the time. Sometimes you just have to write a good story. That's because fans don't always know what they want.
An idea and character stories that need to be told. It's just in my opinion, a reason to just keep the story going and to introduce a new demographic and a new generation of children to Dragon Ball Z. And that's honestly my issue with it. And because of that, there are a number of issues that come from the entire experience. Now, let's consider the Future Trunks arc in itself. Before we even consider that in itself and the way that his character changed, let's consider the drip. The drip that Future Trunks had is completely gone, my G. Like, bro, the drip is gone. Like, completely gone. Let's consider the character design that we have of Future Trunks by the end of the Cell Saga, and consider Future Trunks that we have here in the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. Now, noted, guys, of course, there are going to be some artistic differences because it's a different animator, they're different artists. It's a
with this, I think what they were trying to do, it failed. They were trying to go back to how dire times was, because during that time they were eating canned foods and they were eating dog food, man. Because that's how bad things were on Earth. It was like Walking Dead going on, you know what I'm saying? Because Goku Black and Zamasu, they was ravaging everybody, and I don't understand why he didn't just kill everyone, but it just kind of like the Android threat all over again. When it had Zamasu and Goku Black terrorizing everybody, it just it just kind of like they were trying to rehash the Android arc and make Goku the villain, and the way they did it was weird. And I know what they were trying to do, but it just failed miserably because um, there was no creativity. It was just lazy, and they were with his drip here. They were trying to emphasize, okay, times are bad. Everything's harsh. Everything is things are grim. The only one, he's the only one. He's the only hope for the future. There's no food, no resources. They spent all this time building, and Goku Black came back and destroyed everything. And you know, it was just it just failed. That's all I can say.
Completely, different style. The times have changed. Of course, the art style is going to be a little bit different, but this is a completely different character. Completely. Firstly, from the hair color, which makes absolutely no sense. Why did his hair change from purple to blue?
Because the artists didn't know what they were doing. These people don't know what they're doing. They didn't even look at the even when they had flashbacks and all that. So I'm not L-jacking up. He still had purple hair. So I don't know what they were going for.
That completely makes no sense. The only
At all.
possible reason you could give me is so we can differentiate between.
There's no reason. Ain't no sense in trying to explain it. Ain't no sense trying to explain anything they did in Super. It was just stupid. It just sucked.
Between future Trunks and the small Trunks that we have in DBS, but even that makes no sense because the Trunks in Dragon Ball Super is still a child, completely unnecessary, and the child future Trunks still has purple hair. Continuity is definitely not respected.
And in Dragon Ball Hero, they try to change his hair to purple. I mean to blue. You seen in Dragon Ball Superhero, they try to change his hair to blue, and which is incredibly dumb. They're just doing dumb stuff, and I don't think they care that they're doing dumb stuff. They don't care about being good or making good content. I mean, making a good story. They don't care anything about that. It's mostly about how much money they can make off the series versus let's write a good story. Let's write something the fans will like. They're saying screw the fans. Let's make money. And I kind of hate that a lot of these industries are turned into that because the quality sucks.
Respected in Dragon Ball Super.
And that's why the fans are writing their own stories. We may as well write our own Dragon Ball stories. That's why you got a lot of fan stories that are way better. Because the people that own it don't give a darn about the series. The ones that own it don't care about it. So the fans have to. It's sad that the fans have to come in and write a better story because the owners don't give a crap.
That's all, and I'm gonna mention some of this as we continue in this discussion. Firstly, aesthetically, there's been a complete character change in his style. All the gains, my G. Bro, by the time after Trunks had left the hyperbolic time change.
I can understand it too because he couldn't eat. I could do the in-universe reason because in Dragon Ball Z because in Super they were eating dog food. The hair makes no sense. Now, I can explain the fact that he's a lot smaller. Well, the art design on everybody's smaller. Everyone's skinnier in Super for some odd reason. They changed the design. We're gonna make him look skinny again. Gonna look small again. And I don't know why they went with that, but I guess. But Trunks' timeline can be explained, like I said, because he was eating dog. They were eating dog food to survive. They were eating out of cans and stuff, sardines and junk. And because when Vegeta came back with that spread from Bulma, that was the first actual meal that they've had in a long time. So there's that too.
Alongside Vegeta. Yo, these guys were huge. They were bulked up, they had made huge gains, and they were absolute cheese in terms of body-wise, in terms of experience, in terms of demeanor, everything about them. They were more confident, and they were much more powerful than they were before. Future Trunks we have here, in terms of body structure, muscles and everything, has absolutely shrinked. Completely doesn't make sense to me why he shrinked to such a degree. And it's different. It's not like the way that Super Saiyan 2 Gohan had shrinked. Not necessarily shrinked. He was a young and small boy in the first place. So he didn't really have much mass in the first place, so it really doesn't make sense why he would switch over to this character design. It just genuinely doesn't make sense to me, and in my opinion, in general, he's just a less aesthetically pleasing character, even from the clothes that he's wearing. Another thing that I have an issue with is, now that we've considered the drip, this has definitely been a downgrade. He's definitely lost a number of his gains. He's been doing a whole lot more cardio, clearly a lot more CrossFit, clearly losing calories, losing muscle. So that's obviously an L.
And this was a cash grab too, Vegito Blue. The whole thing was a cash grab just to get people, just get the fans, psych up the fans. It was like a circum jerk to try to bring in some of the OG Dragon Ball fans, and then they try to hype it up because a lot of the new generation was aware of Dragon Ball Z, so they used the OG stuff to They rehashed a lot of stuff, and they brought in all these colorings and hair dye to psych up the kids, because kids like different colors and rainbows and crap. So they rope the kids in, and then they try to throw us a bone, like we actually like it, but no, we hated it. Yeah, we hated all of it, and it was all just a rehash. And anyone that argues that, yeah, you never watch. That lets me know that you never watched the original series.
But most importantly of all, in my personal opinion, his demeanor has completely changed, my G. And it's really disappointing to see this change in his personality.
It's a kid rehash, that's why.
Now, of course, in the beginning of the arc, he was a G, and there were times where he wasn't a decisive and very strong-willed character at times, but by the end of the show, and when he finally dispatched of Android 18 and 19, he was an absolute G.
Android 17 and 18.
And he was essentially Earth's savior and main hero.
And Cell.
To see his demeanor completely change just because there's this huge big bad, while I will grant Zamasu and Goku Black are very, very, very
Well, it changed because he had to fight Goku from Super. Someone that stole Goku's body from Super. Trunks wouldn't be able to beat Goku from Super anyway, because Goku one-shot Trunks. And he had current Goku from Super's body. So there's no hope he could, just like Vegeta was saying, oh, why did you ran and why didn't you just fight? You're talking about the current Goku from Dragon Ball Super. All his powers and all that kind of stuff. There's no way Trunks could have stood any chance against that. Just be real. I mean, and you had Zamasu, which was from Universe 10. Him by himself was stronger than all the other Supreme Kais. So you got to look at the threat he was facing. It's like people say Vegeta is such a jobber and all that stuff. Look at the enemies that Vegeta had to fight. Majin Buu. No one could beat Buu. People that were thousands of times stronger than Frieza got cooked by Buu, man. They got one shot by Buu. You're talking about Kid Buu. Man can, even Super Buu, Majin Buu, can scream and break through dimensions. He screamed and broke out of the time chamber. He came back from smoke. He had to fight, all the threats that Vegeta had to fight. Universal breakers and all kind of stuff. People that could shatter dimensions. So, that's, of course, compared to them, he might job. And when he lost to Granola made a wish to be the strongest guy in the universe. He literally made a wish to be the strongest. I'm just saying. He had to go against like God-like beings, people that the gods of that universe couldn't beat. The Supreme Kais were gods and stuff in this universe. He had to go against people that the gods couldn't beat. He had to go against people that, people like Frieza. Goku couldn't even beat Frieza. He had to have hacks. He had to have plot. Without plot, Goku would not have beat Frieza. Vegeta had to fight against people that Goku couldn't even beat without help. Think about that for a second. And Cell, if he hadn't been dumb enough to let him transform, he could have beat Cell. But Perfect Cell, no one could beat him but Gohan. he had to have help for that because everyone had to be tortured and beat half to death for Gohan to transform. So I'll do a video on that. I'll do a separate video on that on Vegeta because people think he's a jobber. No. Look at the people he had to fight. You're talking about Frieza here because before Goku, Vegeta never lost a fight. He was feared throughout the universe. You know, before Goku, then he fought the Ginyu Force. Then he fought because people were afraid of the Ginyu Force. They conquered planets. Frieza was this intergalactic overlord. Cell was a composite of everyone's being, and the androids, Goku couldn't beat him. He said, if Vegeta couldn't do it, I can't do it. I got to train more to beat him. The people that Vegeta struggled with, Goku couldn't beat him either. So he's not a jobber because Goku couldn't beat Jiren either until he did Ultra Instinct. You know, he had to have a hack. He had to have a plot on his side. Had to do a plot transformation. Then the last time when he beat Jiren, he used Vegeta's energy to do it. So let's be clear about it. Let's just be clear. And Gohan in the anime wouldn't have beat Cell without Vegeta's help. So he's not as much of a jobber as we think. But we'll go over that in another video.
Formidable enemies. For his demeanor to completely change to become a little child all over again, when honestly by this point
they regressed everybody though, because like I said, for kids, during kids show, I hate that. I watched it because it was Dragon Ball, but I wish I hadn't.
It's been a couple of years. Like Future Trunks possibly at this age is maybe nearing even 30 years old, and he's still acting like a complete child. Come on, dog. You need.
Goku was acting like a kid at 40, so. But you know, he didn't. He was more mature in GT as a kid.
To me, it just doesn't make sense to me. And the only thing that would make sense, and the reason that Dragon Ball Super would go in this direction, is to try and appeal to a more younger audience so they can appeal more to Future Trunks. This is honestly why in a lot of animes, a large amount of characters aren't muscular, even though they're very strong in terms of their abilities. And this is really the only reason that would make sense to me, so that Future Trunks just seems younger, more appealing to a lot more characters. That's honestly maybe some of the reason why they even wanted to make Gohan the main character, so they could continuously relate to a younger audience, because that is.
Just change the series, just instead of changing, because people don't like major change like that. You can't change a series and okay, Gohan's the main character now. You can't. What you do, if you're gonna, what was the point in making Goku grow up if you still want to appeal to kids? I didn't see the point in that. If you're gonna pass the torch, you complete Z. End the story of Z. They could have kept, like I said, Goku alive at the end of the Cell arc, and headed towards passing the torch. And then after Buu, then you pass the torch to Gohan, and you have a tournament with 10 years later. You pass it to the next gen. You could pass it to the next generation in that tournament where Goku's the master. He shows up like Master Roshi used to. You could have it to where Goku was banned from attending those tournaments, just like Master Roshi was, and he had the same reputation. He had the same teaching spirit, where Goku becomes like the new Master Roshi, new mentor of the Z Fighter, and Gohan, Goten, Trunks they take over. It could have ended a lot of ways, and then you just end Z from there. Have them, you could pass the torch, and just end the series. You don't have to pass the torch and do another series, or you can start another series with them being the main characters. However you're going to do it, but you can pass the torch and end the series, saying that Gohan and Goten and Trunks, they're taking over. And they could slide Oob in there as a reincarnation of Buu, but you don't hype Oob up to be the main character. You just put him in with Goten, Gohan, and all of them, and train them all together. That's how you do that. If you're gonna do it, do that, and then end it, and then you can make movies after that. See, they should put me on their marketing team. That's all I'm saying. 'Cause it's better ways to do this than just keeping the series going and making Gohan the main character in mid stride. That's a bad idea. Anyone that with any writing experience can tell you that's a bad idea.
Is kind of their target market. But of course, they ended up not going with that and they chose to continue to go with Goku as being the main character. Now, because of all of these factors that I've just mentioned, bro, like Future Trunks, when you look at him, bro, he's just looking like a scrub, bro. He's not impressive at all. He's not exciting at all. Now, granted, there has been a whole new level of power that has been unlocked. So, granted, he's going to be weak and, I guess, more feeble in comparison to the other characters in the show. But giving him an inconsequential and ridiculously and inexplainable power-up is not a solution for you to bring Future Trunks back to his glory.
They shouldn't have brought him back, period. They just should have. The next arc should have just been a spin-off arc with Trunks, with just Trunks figuring out a way to beat them on his own. And probably going to Super Namek, going to Namek and getting the Dragon Balls and wishing Earth back there after he's beaten the new threat. I don't think Goku Black should have been a threat. I just don't believe it. They should have had another threat. If you're going to have that, you better off just bringing Toilets back into the new, into the new thing. Have him plant a tree of might or something like that and eat off the tree and be stronger than he normally would be. Stuff like that. Some things could be done. You just better off bringing Toilets back or one of the movie villains back and putting them in the Future Trunks timeline setting, and then Trunks has to find a way to eliminate that threat. I believe they could have did something with that. They could have did a lot with that. To me now, that's just to me. And he had to bring some of the future people back to help him on that, because Namek's Dragon Balls can bring people back. I don't know. There's a way to write that story to where Trunks could have handled that threat. They should have had like a mini arc where Trunks dealt with it on his own. I really think so. That's just me though. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna bring Trunks back, bring him back in his own. Have a little spin-off arc in his arc, without the Goku, without the Vegeta. Just have his own arc. If you're gonna put him in there, but because a lot of people probably wanted to see how he interacted with the other universe. Because now you have other universes in there, you could have different threats from different universes attack Future Trunks' timeline. He'll have to go to other universes and get help. It's just if you're going to introduce in Universe 6 Saiyans, they also exist in Future Trunks' timeline, so he could have got help from them. There's a lot of other ways to make this story, because Universe 6 Saiyans were a lot stronger than Trunks in this. They're about even, because Trunks, before Vegeta's training, the fact that Goku, in the manga, the fact that his Super Saiyan 2 was even with Goku's Super Saiyan 3 shows me he was stronger than anything in Z, because Goku was stronger than anything in Z in his base form, and the fact that Trunks could keep up with it is astounding. So he got a huge power up from Z, because fighting with Goku Black and all that kind of stuff.
Bro, Super Saiyan Rage, bro. Dude, this is why. Shout out to the homie Kwaman who makes some really good Dragon Ball Z content. And I was watching
Super Saiyan Rage was dumb, pretty dumb.
A video of his, and he was like, bro, back when I was watching Dragon Ball Super, somebody needs to be hired to be a continuity expert to ensure that the decisions that are made in the manga and in the anime are continuous, and ensure that the power scaling, the fabric of everything that's involved remains consistent and makes sense. Making Future Trunks to be a character that is able to go toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, absolutely makes no sense. No matter how angry he is, at least give us some sort of explanation to explain, okay, why is Future Trunks so powerful now? Where is all of this power coming from?
I know what half of it came from is him fighting with Goku Black over and over and over and over. because Goku Black got the same type of power ups. If you had when you watch he got the same type of power. He kept getting stronger, 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 stronger. So I don't see why Trunks couldn't get stronger, stronger. But they could have explained it like that. They could explain the fact that he you know, maybe his secret training with Vegeta brought out this power, or they went to the time chamber, time drug out, because you could train in the time chamber for a year. He could have trained in the time chamber with Vegeta for a year, and then came back and fought Goku Black. So that let's just say within that year of him training with Vegeta, bam, you know, we're gonna go back in 24 hours, or we're gonna go back in 2 days, 48 hours. He spent that time with Vegeta training in the time chamber. Vegeta shows him the God Key and all that other stuff, how to unlock the God Key, and then let's say he takes Whis and Vegeta go into the time chamber with Trunks, and they use the staff and all that kind of stuff. And he shows them how to access God Key and all that. You could explain his rage form because it kind of reminds you of Super Saiyan Blue. You could have had it where Vegeta trained him to hold the key inside his body and unlock it. You know, it could easily be explained because Goku and Vegeta unlocked it like within a year's time, I believe, too. Because not much time had passed from Battle of the Gods to Resurrection F. I don't even think it was a year. So it's probably like a year, a little over a year. So I believe Trunks could have learned it from Vegeta if Whis and he went with Whis in the time chamber somewhere, and they went inside his staff, and he learned how to hold the key inside his body to acquire the Super Saiyan Rage. Because if Trunks went into that transformation, and it could have showed a flashback of him training with Vegeta, learning how to access that God Key, it would have been better. But like I said, the fact that they didn't explain it, you don't know where it came from or how. They could have easily done that. That's an easy feeling. They just didn't. That's why I keep saying they don't even try. They don't try anymore. It's easy. Writing for Dragon Ball is so easy, especially when you know the series. The way I know it, the way a lot of other people know it, the lore, the whole all the lore behind it, all the missed potential that they had, because they could have easily went to the time chamber with him and Whis and showed him that training. So I got a way you can, Whis could have approached Trunks. There's a way you can unlock that God Key, the same God Key that your father had. So Whis could have trained Trunks. Vegeta could have trained Trunks. He could have spent that time. He could have gave him the same training. Because within a year, it's easy. Especially you do it inside the time chamber. But it's just me, though.
What is the reason? Is it something that's happened to him? Is it because he was exposed to characters that have this God Key that he's been able to unlock this special form? At least give us some sort of explanation or reason to explain where this power comes from. This is an issue that we didn't have back in Dragon Ball Z. Still, bro, there are a number of unexplained questions that need to be answered and probably will be answered in Dragon Ball Super. For me personally, one of the things that still bother me to this day, where the hell did Vegeta get his God Key? Where did Vegeta get his God Key? Because from what we understand, gents, from and explained by these,
he learned it with Whis when he was, like I just said, Vegeta learned his training with Goku and Whis when they was inside and had to learn how to hold a key inside the body. Because that's all Divine Key was when Whis described it. They was holding the key inside their body, so it wouldn't let it leak out. Because you can learn it through the ritual, or you can get it. You could learn it through training with a deity like Whis, training with an angel, or God of Destruction. Because God Keys, all of it is God Key. Because you got God Key, Divine Key. You have the Autonomous Ultra Instinct from the angels, and you have Destructive Energy from the God of Destructions. So you can different ways to get God Key. But Vegeta got his because when Goku first arrived on the planet, on Whis' planet, on Beerus and Whis' planet, and he sensed Vegeta in his base form, said, "You've already surpassed me. You're already stronger than I am." So Vegeta was stronger than Goku in his base form. So, because he had trained in his base form under Whis. So, you know, it shows the kind of gains he gained. He got. He went from Super Saiyan 2 levels of power, like post Dragon Ball Z levels of power, post Kid Buu saga, to being stronger than Super Saiyan God in his base form. So that's astronomical levels of improvement. But he got it from training. He didn't have it yet, but they tapped into Super Saiyan Blue, training through that special training with inside Whis' staff.
Super Saiyan God Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods movie, the only way in which for a Saiyan can attain God Ki is through the Super Saiyan God ritual.
Not true.
And only Goku has gone through that ritual.
You could do it other ways. Just like I just explained, you could do it for different ways. That's the only hole in this video that I pointed out. Everything, all the other points are solid. It's just some things I understand and know. But yeah, because it wasn't the only way. Vegeta found it because Goku stated Vegeta found his own way. He did it. He surpassed on his own. He had already had God Ki when Goku found. By the time Goku caught up with Vegeta, he had already surpassed him. He already found God Ki, and he had probably been training inside the staff.
How come Vegeta now has access to God Ki? If it's because of Whis and a special training regiment, why didn't they just do that in the first place and give it to Goku so he can fight Beerus without the Super Saiyan God transformation?
But they didn't know each other at the time. Whis only trains people that are wanting to be God of destruction. So what Goku and Vegeta did, they act like they was trying to be gods of destruction just so they can get the training. Vegeta agreed to be a god of destruction because Whis was only interested in training gods of destruction to take Beerus' place. So what they did, like I said, they agreed to the training so they can get stronger. They didn't have any intention in being gods of destruction. That's just what they just a promise that they gave them. And well, you could do, but since they so hung up on food, they never had good food before. They bribed Whis with food, but normally you'd have to be a god of destruction to train with Whis. I know a lot of this stuff. I still remember. I even though I don't like Super, I still know the lore of Super. I still know it. He had to. That was the only way really to train under Whis, but Vegeta bribed him with ramen noodles, and I think Goku did too. Goku bribed him with food too. So that's how they got trained. That's how they trained. I think because Goku bought Whis something too, so he can get training. So that's how they're able to train under him.
Why is it that out of nowhere now Vegeta now has access to this God Ki just because he's chilling and kicking it with Whis, bro? Like at least
he was doing more than just kicking it. If you seen the training in Super, it was more than just kicking it because all the training Goku did with Vegeta had already been doing it for 6 months. And the same training that Vegeta had already been in that room with Vegeta had already been in that staff. It's just he just learned how to master it. He had already been there, but Vegeta, they kind of mastered it quickly together. But Vegeta had already been undergoing that training for 6 months prior to Goku showing up.
give us some sort of explanation, a sentence that explains to us why this is happening. And unfortunately, this trend continues throughout all of Dragon Ball Super.
Because some stuff they didn't explain, but this, they did show them training with Whis to get Super Saiyan Blue. Because when they was sparring, they had sparring that style. They were sparring. They went from not being able to move, having to learn how to hold their ki inside their body, to having to spar, and then they got a glimpse of Super Saiyan Blue.
Consider how the Zamasu and Goku Black arc was concluded. There were about perhaps 30 people, and Future Trunks used Super Saiyan Rage alongside with a Sword Spirit Bomb to defeat the fusion of Zamasu and Goku Black. Absolutely ridiculous. Zamasu
I do think that was stupid, but I at least would have had more respect for the series if they had ended it there versus Zamasu becoming the timeline. I'd have had more respect if they just ended it right there. If they just made Zamasu no more with the Spirit Sword, I wouldn't have liked it, but I would have had more respect for the series. And they used the Dragon Balls, the Super Dragon Balls, from the planet. They used the Super Dragon Balls, and wish everything back to normal.
and Goku Black were not defeated by
No, the Namek Dragon Balls, not the Super Dragon, because they destroyed the Super Dragon Balls. The Dragon Balls from Namek.
Of Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito. No. They were defeated by Super Saiyan 2 or your Super Saiyan Rage, Future Trunks, and using a Spirit Bomb with the key of about 30 people who aren't even people of a substantial power level, bro. That Spirit Bomb is not gonna have any.
Well, see, you have Genki energy and you have the actual life energy. Now, the Genki energy is different. It's the people of Earth, because the people of Earth, none of them, they're a very small amount. All the superpowered ones gave their energy first. The Spirit Bomb wasn't even nowhere near enough to beat Kid Buu. But when the population of regular humans gave their energy, it was way stronger. So it doesn't, how strong you are doesn't mean anything when it comes to the Spirit Bomb. So I just know how the Genki Dama works. You have Genki energy and then you have the actual life energy. It's different types of energy. And when you have a large number of Genki energy, it can overpower Super Saiyan 2. It doesn't matter, because Kid Buu was keeping up with Super Saiyan 3, but the Genki energy of regular human beings trumped his power. So just like Gohan, Ultimate Gohan giving his energy to the Spirit Bomb, it's just like Billy Bob from down the street, the farmer with the shotgun. It's no stronger than his energy, his Genki energy. It'll only boost up a little bit, just like it did in the series, and so you'll know that I'm not crazy. When you look it up in the series, Gohan, 18 of them gave their energy. It expanded a little bit, but with actual human beings, when all the human beings on the earth did it, boosh. You see what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be much of a difference from Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan Super Vegeta giving his Genki energy versus Sarasu. So that explains that.
Any substantial worth, bro. Like, bro, back in Dragon Ball Z, by the end of Dragon Ball Z, everybody on Earth, and I think maybe a couple of other planets, only then were they able to create a Super Saiyan, a Spirit Bomb that was able to defeat Kid Buu. Bro, a Spirit Bomb of that strength, the Spirit Bomb that defeated Kid Buu, is absolutely inconsequential considering the God Key that we're dealing with in this current arc. So there are a number of issues, and this trend.
Well, Kid Buu's Spirit Bomb wouldn't have been enough if you want to go by continuity, because Kid Buu was controlling that Spirit Bomb. Goku had to use the Dragon Balls to wish Goku's strength back, because the Spirit Bomb itself, Kid Buu regained control over it and pushed it back towards the Goku. He had it, pushed it right back towards Goku. So he was able to control it at least. So it wouldn't have been enough for Zamasu, and because they're eons more powerful than Kid Buu.
Continues to the character and the way in which they butchered Future Trunks. He is no longer a character that is a G. He is no longer a character that you can look forward to and see, yo, definitely Trunks is going to take care of business. He's going to be moving like a G. There are so many holes throughout his entire story. His character is no longer the same. He's just not that great of a character anymore.
Well, he couldn't be alongside a Zamasu that took over a Super Goku's body. So there ain't much you can do when it comes to that. Ain't much you can't make Trunks into a G unless you bring in a villain that's around the same threat level as like the Buu Saga, say the Buu Saga, something like that. because doggone and Super Goku was way stronger than anything in Z, stronger than Vegito, stronger than Buhan. He could beat Buhan in base form. You see what I'm saying? Because he went toe to toe with Beerus, and then he harnessed that power within his own body. Beerus said it himself. You've made that power your own now. All that power is yours. His Super Saiyan was the equivalent of Super Saiyan God. When he turned Super Saiyan, when he fought Beerus, he was the same strength level he was when he was a Super Saiyan God. So he made that power his own. So, but he was still fighting even and toe to toe with Beerus at 60% or however whatever he said. Beerus was still holding back, but his power didn't decrease any. He said he didn't feel any. Goku didn't even feel himself get any weaker. He didn't know the power had left him, so he didn't get any weaker. So he had the same power. So you take that kind of Goku, put him in a time chamber for 3 years, training with Vegeta for the Universe 6 tournament, and then after that, he meets Zamasu, and then Zamasu takes his body. That Goku. Trunks wouldn't stand any chance against that. So we can't. They just used the wrong villain. Now, had they used the right type of villains and stuff like that, you took over a Dragon Ball Super Goku's body. There was no hope. You wrote Trunks in to lose. He was gonna lose from the get go. He had no hope to begin with, and that's what I hate about it.
And this entire arc unfortunately just ruined it. And as I said before, Dragon Ball Super is genuinely and feels like just a vehicle for fan service, and
that's all it is. Just like Dragon Ball Superheroes or whatever that show is, that one that's promoting that video game. It's just as dumb and stupid. Well, it's actually worse.
Way in which to make money off toys and all this stuff, and without a doubt, I'm sure they made a whole lot of money and a big bag off that Super Saiyan Rage transformation, but it's still unexplained. How is Future Trunks this powerful? What happened to the person that he was? Why isn't he moving like a G anymore? Why was his character design changed to such a degree? What in the world has happened? Why was the reason that all of these decisions were made? What?
Because they were writing for kids, and they, like you said, they looking for a cash grab, and people they're just pandering to kids and fanboys, and they're just trolling. I think they were really just trolling the fanboys, honestly. Because before Toriyama passed, he said he didn't even care about watching the anime. He cared nothing about the anime. So that was his farewell screw you to the fans.
What is the return on investment? These changes, did they make the character more interesting? Did they make the character more aesthetically pleasing?
No.
Did these changes give or show Future Trunks substantial character development throughout?
No, they didn't show anything. They just showed plot and bullcrap and cash grab and all of that stuff. It showed nothing of any relevance.
Was the years? In my opinion, absolutely not. There are no benefits to the multitude of.
There's no benefits to Dragon Ball Super. Period. Nothing beneficial whatsoever. Only benefit was that I got to roast it. I grew my channel off roasting this series. So, I mean, if that counts for anything, I'm thankful for that.
Changes that have been made to Future Trunks, and which is why I have an overall huge issue with this entire arc as a whole. And
I have an issue for the whole entire series.
Why
the whole series lame and dedicated towards kids, and just it was just an abysmal failure.
See it as a complete downgrade for the future from the
Dragon Ball Super was a downgrade from all of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, the first episode of Dragon Ball, was better than Super.
Future Trunks that we had in Dragon Ball Z to the Future Trunks that we had in Dragon Ball Super. So yeah, man, those are my thoughts on Future Trunks, and overall I'm just disappointed, man. He's no longer the G, and if we consider the Future Trunks in Dragon Ball Super, he's without a doubt definitely not my favorite character in Dragon Ball at all, or in the entire Dragon Ball verse, because he's just a height, bro. He's just a height. And Kakarot's Goku has unfortunately gone through a similar treatment because they've made him a little bit more childish, a little bit more goofy. I don't know. People have said it's because of the dub, because of the English dub, it made him seem more mature, but I disagree. Just the writing and everything that was executed.
The writing of the whole all of it. Vegeta, they made Vegeta. Vegeta's a better character than Super in this series because, I mean, 17. Everyone's just better than Goku in this. Goku's just this man child, and I mean, I'm glad Super ended as far as the series because I couldn't take no more of it. It was so much. It was so trash.
Goku was moving like an adult in Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Super, he's honestly moving like an overgrown child, and unfortunately, this trend has extended to every single character.
Just like what I was saying, they did all these characters like that, and then they went ahead and did it for real with Dragon Ball Diamond. They just went ahead and turned everyone into kids. That's after that point. At that point, I was done with Dragon Ball because they're just at this point they're telling you they don't care about you or what you want or what you like, and then because Toriyama didn't even watch his own anime, they're telling you that they really don't care.
Except maybe Vegeta. That's pretty much it, bro. But everybody else has unfortunately gotten negative treatment as a whole in terms of character. And there's been literally zero character development for any of the characters since Dragon Ball Z, which is absolutely ridiculous. How are we not changing over these years, bro? Like, what is going on, bro? Like, while
Cash grab, that's what's going on.
people give Dragon Ball GT a whole lot of flack and a whole lot of
GT's pretty bad, but it's better than Super.
a pushback. At least characters changed. At least Goten and Trunks grew up. At least things changed. Like Vegeta by the end of Dragon Ball Z was a little more mellow. By the end of Dragon Ball, by the time we got to Dragon Ball GT, he's absolutely moving like a human. Like Vegeta is almost as nice as Goku by the end of it all, bro. Like these people changed, bro. But to see that all of this, to see real
if they hadn't turned Goku into a kid, that would have been an awesome series. And they just wanked him. They didn't have to wank him. I don't think they didn't have to wank Goku just to limit his power. They could have just made the villains stronger and more clever. I just didn't understand it because the villains in Super are a lot stronger and Goku's not a kid. And some of the fight scenes are okay. So it managed. It sucked, but it still managed. You didn't have to turn Goku into a kid to just depower him. There were a lot of ways you could have did that. You could have made Pilaf could have made any wish on the Dragon Balls, and it would have been okay. Pilaf could have made a wish to be stronger, to be the strongest, he could have made his wish to be the ruler, and Goku and Oob take on Emperor Pilaf together, and while they're training, Goku and Oob take on Pilaf together, and Oob shows Goku what he's made of by saving the Earth, without the need of Goku, without the need of Gohan to get involved, but the Dragon Balls have scattered, so they have to go collect them. See, they should have hired me, man. I'm telling y'all, now I need to make me. See, I'm better. I'm a better writer I can write this stuff better than they can. A lot of the fans can.
developments for these characters, and to see character regression, character assassination for such a really good and great character.
Just for plot, just for money, for cash, for things to happen. They had to make the heroes stupid just to move the plot along, which is like very uncreative, unoriginal.
It's honestly disappointing, and in my opinion, after seeing what they did with Future Trunks, it would have been better if they had just left him alone. And
exactly, they shouldn't even did a series with Trunks. They shouldn't have brought him back. Shouldn't have messed with him. Should have went from this Universe 6, and they should have just went to what happened after the Future Trunks. They should have did something else, anything but this.
Completely closed that chapter in the Cell games. But guys, those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you guys feel, were you happy?
Or they could have did, I would have found it more interesting if they had shown an arc of how Trunks handled the Buu arc. I would have found that more interesting than this.
With the way Future Trunks was handled, do you feel that, hey, maybe I'm just overreacting, maybe I'm one who's bugged?
No, you're not overreacting. You're just telling it like it is, which is it. Super sucked. Everything about Super. Trunks is just one of the reasons. And I've been wanting to harp on this for a minute, but, now is the time. I just felt like doing it today.
Tell me your thoughts down there in the comments. More videos like this will be on the way. If you guys...
that video's over with. But anyway, 'cause Trunks is just he was just ruined, just like a lot of other characters in Super. But I just wanted to do that one because I thought that video was interesting. I wanted to share it with you guys. I'll be doing Dragon Ball New Hope sometime this weekend. It'll be Saturday night, Sunday, one of these days. I'll be doing it. But catch y'all on the next one.